All right, so I got a lot of questions on this particular post or comment about the Ladybird deed regarding taxes. So I decided I was going to take one of these up in particular. The question was, what about taxes? Do the beneficiaries have to pay taxes based on the current value when selling the house? And actually, this is a really, really good thing to get brought up because this is another huge benefit of a Ladybird deed. So when you inherit property through a Ladybird deed, much like inheriting it through a trust, you inherit it and at the basis, or you get the basis in it of what it is at the time you inherit it. What that means is the value of the property when determining if there's taxes to pay if you turn around and sell it is based on the value when you actually inherited the property and not when the property was originally bought by your parents or whoever owned it. So as an example, if your parents bought the property for, say, $100,000 and they left it to you through a Ladybird deed, and when you ended up inheriting it, the fair market value of the property had gone up to $500,000. If you go ahead and sell that property soon after you inherit it, you're not going to have any capital gains tax to pay because you're going to basically be selling it at the same value that you inherited at. So there's no difference there for taxes or for a tax consequence. Versus if your parents add you to the deed while they're still alive in order to avoid probate, people do this. They do it by the use of a quit claim deed. They will add one of their kids or, several of their kids onto the property. When you do that, you are definitely putting your kids in a bad situation for taxes later on down the road if ultimately they're just going to sell the property. Because once you put them on that deed while you're still alive, then their basis, the amount that's used to calculate taxes, is what was actually paid for the property initially, say by your parents. So in that previous example, it's that $100,000. So that when you turn around and sell it at, say, $500,000, you're going to have to pay taxes on that gain of $400,000. So this is why it's way more beneficial if you want to leave property to your kid or to your kids or to anyone, you do it through a Ladybird deed. Let them inherit it. Let them take on the value that's the date of death value or the fair market value at the time of the inheritance versus taking on the value of when it was originally bought. Much, 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 much better tax consequences that way. All right, I hope this answers the question.